And we back! Hey guys, what's up? Sorry we haven't been doing that much podcasts. That's our fault. We take full responsibility for that. Nonetheless, this is Negative Balance. I am your host, Sean. And I want to welcome the Negative Balance crew.
Yeah, Christian.
Tien.
Fayola.
Alright, what's up? So, today, guys, we have a new topic. We're going to talk about the use of technology based on high school teenagers. And just the fact that I'm a first-year student, Fayola's a first-year student, we could relate. Mm-hmm. So, without further ado, we're going to just jump right into it. So, Fayola, I'm going to ask you just, give your experience. Based on, what you, experienced at high school, how you see a lot of the high school teenagers, usually on their phones, doing their own stuff, social media. So, could you, give us, a little background, of, something you've experienced?
Sure. My experience with technology has been interesting. From a very young age, I haven't been exposed to that much, but, as we progress into the future, there's more technology advancements, and definitely in high school, the impact that technology has on the way kids think, and more importantly, the way kids think about themselves is definitely increased, and is an important factor that technology has on people and teens.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah. Honestly, from my personal experience, it's the same thing. I wasn't really caught up to that much technology. I didn't get my first phone till just 2 years ago. So I know that my parents raised me well. But back on topic. I totally agree with you. So basically, the use of technology for high school teens, it's at an all-time high. Whether it's outside in the classroom, whether it's inside the classroom, where it's you're on Snapchat, checking all your stories and stuff, or Instagram, I feel the use of technology in high school has been substantially high, and I think it's something that we need to address, because it does leave a negative and a positive impact, which we're gonna discuss right now. So, Tien, so what would you see as the negative side of teenagers using an excessive amount of technology in high school?
In terms of, I think the most important point, distraction. No, seriously, because when even at a university level, I know it's just high school, but university, you know what happens during those first year classes? I think you and Bill can relate.
Yeah.
People are on their phones, looking at Facebook, tweeting, Instagram, taking selfies of food. I don't even care. People are random. But the point of it stands is that on the one hand, obviously the positive, easy access to information, easy communication, but guess what? Distraction. You're going to be distracted, plain and simple, during your classes, even at a high school level. That's what I'm concerned, because as phone usage increases, more people are going to be distracted. That's just a fact. Because the more distractions you give in a classroom, the more distracted they'll be.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I feel with the usage of these phones. Yeah, they're great for us, but let's be honest, they're also a distraction.
Yeah.
As well.
And that also it also affects their attention. Basically, right? Because you have more cases of ADD, and you also, I don't know if you guys seen the documentary on Netflix of parents, a lot more parents considering to put their kids on Adderall just for them to because they're having issues with focusing, right? Mm-hmm. And the number is rising. And also, just to add on what Phil said before, you see more of a sense kids building their social skills through the internet, right? And not through people, communicating with people, right? Because that's where it should be embedded. So when you have lower self-esteem, and it also could reflect in the extreme. If you really have a lot of followers, you can puff up your ego. Next thing you know, your real life does not reflect your online life.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's cognitive dissonance, right?
Absolutely.
And if I can add... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, and if I can add, this social media also has, that presence, because, obviously, social media, there's always that idea that you want to stand out, from a crowd of who knows how many users on the internet, right? and we've seen like historically through these really dumb challenges like that Tide Pod challenge, and some and now it's like this creepy face like what the hell like
Momo
come on.
challenge.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Kids, stay away from the
Oh
Momo
my-
challenge.
And then oh my god, and then like people are getting risky. Like I think like a week or two ago there was like it was on the news about like some random woman throwing a chair across the apartment.
Oh, I saw that! I saw that! Sorry, I got a little excited right there, but... So basically, I know what your point is. Like, basically, there's a lot of trends and challenges going on, and that really distracts a lot of the students there.
Yeah.
You know? And basically, also, like, their social life as well. Whatever happens in the scenario, you know, they use social media as, like, a platform to, like, you know, exploit it. So let's say, like, if it's, like, a fight.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing they're doing, they're not really calling a principal or a
No.
teacher. They're pulling out their phone.
Yeah.
Wall star, you know?
Yeah, they're snapping the whole thing. So, like, I definitely feel like, you know, the phone has been, like, you know, like a manipulation tool, you know? So, like, it's kind of like brainwashing us. Like, we're not really learning anything in school, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
People don't really go there. It's come to the point where people don't go there to learn. They go to just hang with their friends, go on Snapchat, Instagram, when you can do that anywhere else, like the mall or at your friend's house. Like, if you're at school, you want to learn,
Yeah.
right?
And I actually, yeah, and you see like how it affects conversations. Like people don't make jokes anymore; just show a meme instead, right? It's like there's no like verbal communication. Like it's reduced now, right?
Yeah.
And especially in those younger years when your brain is like a sponge, it's hard. You can really get stuck in your own habits, and that could be like detrimental, like for long term. Yeah.
And then soon, like with the social media, soon you'll be saying things that you would never say in real life. Like you'll see, like I'll be blunt, white people saying the N word and thinking it's totally okay.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I literally see it.
No, that's true.
It's very ballsy
Listen, we
and
don't want to
risky.
get controversial.
Controversy is literally what social media can do. We see it already
True.
through politics, through Trump. But
To
the
be fair, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
now you continue your point.
Yeah, I don't know. I was about to say like to be like we learned also something similar in our like Nats 1500 class. Like it basically is talking about how everybody is like instead of social media bringing everybody together, it makes everybody also like divisive because your timeline is curated to your beliefs and whoever you associate with. So you just engage with those people. So like. I don't know if you guys face the same problem, but like if you're like popped on YouTube and then you just cover like completely something you've never thought about, but it's like huge to other people, right? And then you keep wondering like if how it's like little small worlds, like all around. Yeah.
All right, so I think we can just stay for myself. Like, there's a lot of negative about this. So I think the question now is like, what is the positive of this? Like, and like, I see a couple of positive, but like. I mean, like, a positive, like, you know, it's actually shown a little bit of, like, you know, progress. So, like, if anyone's, like, comfortable with answering that, like, what could you say is, like, you know, a positive thing about the use of technology? And not just phones, like, you know, computers, you know, iPads, you know, like, for high school students. Like, what do you think is a positive thing?
For, like, specifically since we're talking about for high school kids, I say that it starts to like prepare for them to think as develop a brand sort of because that's like if we used to even do that before technology, right? A brand is more like just another name for like reputation at this point. So like when you do that and if you're business oriented, you can easily make it. You don't have to like you're not tied down to education or like at least formal education. And college, right? So it gives you different opportunities in that sense. We've seen like high school kids, even middle school kids, getting like $1 million worth of YouTube these days, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is, and it also gives other opportunities to like, faster like create this stuff, obviously. And if you think about it, like I think we all know that the teenagers are the one running all the online platforms. They're the ones putting all the content, so we gotta thank them for that.
Yeah.
And just to add on, I think that technology and internet can be a positive in terms of networking and connecting with people, even though like it disconnects people from actually communicating in reality, but it also like enables us to contact people, say from like another country, like through WhatsApp. My family is able to like contact other members of the family. It's just an easier way to talk to people and yeah, to communicate.
Actually, I use that a lot. Yeah, I should.
So I guess I totally agree with both of you. It could also be used like to benefit like high school teenagers education. Like I feel like from a personal standpoint I've seen it at hand. Some students just do not want to do written work. They don't want to be like getting like big piles of paper writing and everything. They want to do something like more hands-on or something like interactive. And I think having stuff like this like smart boards and projectors is really helpful. But I think the problem for that is there's an idea like that, but it's not really being implemented. Or like people are like saying we want to do something like that, but once you try it, the student doesn't feel like they kind of don't want to be engaged. It's like you want something to happen, but you don't want it to be like you don't want to like try to commit. You just want to like be something to be handed to you. So I feel that's a positive, but like there's also like a contradiction to that as well.
Like it really depends on how you use it, honestly, right? And also just I don't just to add on like on the negative, because this is a huge one, like cyberbullying, like, and that's one of the huge negative ones, right? Yeah. But another positive I think of is like organizing for like activism, like those high school students in the States that were against like gun violence and school shootings got mobilized and end up starting a movement. And so I think that's positive in that sense.
And if I can add, like, through the use of like these phones, all these technologies, we're kind of in a weird place where on the one hand, like, we have all these positives, but then you have all these negatives. So like for me, if in terms of like the impact and what we can do about it, the focus in terms of like how we can handle technology in the hands of high school students, you should have like some level of control over them. Like obviously, don't say like gym class, you can bring your phone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a bad idea.
Okay, so I was about to get to that. Yep. So my next question is, do you think phones should not be permitted on school ground?
I would say like for phones, ideally during classrooms, the phone shouldn't really be there. Let's be honest. Like I'd rather have the lessons either on the board or on a computer, on a slideshow, whatever. But the phones are usually used more for distraction. But during lunchtime, yes, feel free to use the phones.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like you say distractions, and a student, they treat a phone as in like it's their like personal belonging. Like honestly, they don't want to give up the phone. Even like put it away. Some teachers go to the point where like, okay, give me your phone, and like they start to get all rebellious, and like I don't understand sometimes. I mean, like there's been times I've been on my phone if someone's told me like, okay, get off, and like I get off. But for you to like drag the conversation to a point like you want the teacher to be like, okay, I need your phone, and you're just bickering with them. It's just ridiculous. So it's not that I don't agree with you. It's like there's also like some type of
middle ground.
Yeah, a middle ground, like basically. So it's like you want the student to be focused, but you kind of just bickering to just get the phone. It's just causing another distraction.
Yeah.
Because you're just going back and forth. And then I've learned this before. I see students get kicked out the classroom. It's like, all right, you don't want to give me the phone? All right, you can go to the principal's office and everything. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like it shouldn't be agreed. This shouldn't be allowed, or at least this should be like held until like class is off.
Yeah.
That way, in case you have to call your parent and find your way home, then you should. But during like class time, I feel like it shouldn't be allowed. That way, cut off the distraction. Honestly, you know what I mean?
Yeah. For me as well, like I agree with what all of you guys have said. Like about the distraction, that's mainly like the huge con. And like just having it there on the desk, like it's calling for your name.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially in school and education, if you really want to like pay attention in class, not having that distraction is gonna like help you stay focused and help you stay more alert. And like also just communicate with other students in the class. Having that phone like will distract you and like just like get you out, like just not communicate with others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically.
I guess we could go like even deeper because I know you guys mentioned like universities.
Yeah.
So I guess we could go deeper into the topic. So like, how would you feel on the standpoint of like university students and how they use technology?
Oh man, this is gonna be
that's a
fun.
story.
It's gonna be juicy. I just kicked it up a notch.
Alright, if I can begin, it's even worse.
Okay.
Yo, like all those things I've talked about earlier, they happen no matter if you're first year, second year, third year, even in a seminar of just 8 people, people will be using their phones, their laptops, just on Facebook, on Twitter. I'm not even making this stuff up, literally. Like, guys, what are you even here for? Like, you go to York, you pay your money and tuition, and you just use your phone? Like, as you said, Sean, like, why are you even here? You can do this anywhere else. Am I right?
I didn't want to do this.
Oh,
I want
no.
to tell you a story. I'm not going to throw any names. I'm not going to try to do... Because, like,
Okay.
next thing they know, they hear this podcast, and then they're going to come for us. But basically, at a certain time, there was an incident of a student. Basically, he or she was on their phone. And I remember I was in the class. It was a lecture for my humanities course. And my professor was doing his or her lesson. And out of nowhere, she kind of just wrapped it up. Like, she wasn't halfway done, but she wrapped it up, and, like, you could see she was very aggravated. And at first, I was kind of confused. I was like, I don't know what's happening, so I packed my stuff. It was not later on, a couple minutes later, she told me that someone was literally on their laptop, like, shopping. Just, like, in the middle of the lecture, like, searching for clothes and accessories. And I'm just thinking to myself, why?
And they were at the front?
Oh, I'm talking the back.
Whoa.
So it's like, why is it necessary? So, like, my biggest issue is that, it's what Tien said, you pay a hard good money to be in this position, and you're just gonna go and just shop online. It's like, oh, I gotta get these new J's, or I gotta get this Louis Vuitton bag. Oh my god. It's really unnecessary. It's like, it's unprofessional too. So you have people learning, they wanna like create a future for themselves, and you're just here shopping. That just kind of shows and says that, hey, like, I don't have to listen, and like I still can get where I am.
Yeah.
And how's that a side example for people coming into university as well? Because, like, if you start going back and telling people, like, oh, yeah, I did nothing. All I did was, like, shop online during the election and I still passed. It's just, like, it's passing on. It's like some type of chain reaction. It's like, you don't have to try that hard to, like, get where you have to go. And I feel that's just a bad example. So that's just a story I wanted to just mention.
Yeah, for me, when I first came to university, I was shocked at, like, the amount of other students who just used technology. I remember just sitting in macroeconomics class and just seeing someone, like, in front of me watching Black Panther. I was like, wait, what? I was so confused. 'Cause, like,
Wakanda forever!
yeah.
Yo.
Like, I was so confused because in high school, it's an automatic no. The teacher will see you doing that, and it's like, no, don't do that. But, like, here, the professors are more lenient, and, like, obviously, like, they don't care because, I mean, you're more responsible for yourself now. And, I mean, if you're going to waste time in class, that's up to you, right? Because you're the one who's paying for the education in the first place. So, I mean, it's pretty much your responsibility. But, like, I was just shocked. I was like, wow. Like, why is this person even here if you're going to watch Black Panther? Like, that makes no sense.
Like, honestly, like, and what you said about, like, how people just have, they're, like, adults now. And, like, I don't want to say this is the main thing, but do you feel like because that you're now an adult, that you have certain, like, I guess, privileges to do, like, whatever you want? So, like, you can't go on your phone and, like, no one has to tell me to get off. I'm my own person. Do you think it has to, like, do, like, a small part of why there's an increased amount of technology used, especially in the classrooms, like phone users, laptop users?
Yeah, definitely. It affects a huge part because I don't know about you, but like, when you're coming from high school, like university, you're excited. Like you feel like you're gonna find independence. You little freedom, So like, it definitely has a huge part in like playing that do the distractions, right? And feeling like no one could talk to you because you're an adult now, even though
Yeah.
you're not really not. You just change locations, honestly, and yeah, and honestly, just to backpedal real quick, one one of the things I hate is that visuals. Unlike if it was like the actual text on the screen, it's very distracting, right? Because you can't help it. Even if you try to focus, like if there's a screen like right below you, and then you see like this movie playing or even a game. There's even some obscene more stuff, honestly. Like hopefully you don't get to see it, but
Super happy fun times.
exactly. So yeah, it's like very distracting, and it could change your mood. And as we all know, just to get back in like your attention, to get back in focus, it's like takes like 15 minutes. So you waste your like it takes away your time. So I'm on the position of like if they could have one of those things where they could block certain sites for certain courses, because I know some courses you need internet and whatnot, but like
Yeah.
if you're doing macroeconomics, you know you're just gonna look at graphs the whole time, right? So like they should block off certain sites, and yeah, that's what I think.
And if I may like, add, obviously the issue of that one would be, how would you enforce that? Like people are gonna be like, oh, VPN, private network. I'm just gonna go snoop around the websites, bypass York's Wi-Fi. But like the point right now is that it's difficult to kind of like tell people, don't use your technology, don't use this in your classrooms, because on the one hand it's tricky, right? Like how do you like enforce it? And I can tell you that, like, I worked at, like, York for a couple years, and I can tell you, even at my workplace, like, there was this one time, I think, a year ago, where I was, like, I was like, going to an office, and then I saw some, like, some of the students who were working there, on their computer, watching YouTube, and they're paid. They're paid to do opposite. I see them, like, watching YouTube, and I'm like, why? And they tell me, we finished our work, and I'm here like, really? And so I went to the boss and asked, and she's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, I'm actually serious. And she went down and she was pissed. Oh my god.
Oh my
Like,
god.
so when I say like this, it just encourages people to just do really, really stupid stuff. Like, you're working. Why are you watching videos when you're working?
Okay.
For,
Yeah.
like, minimum wage. Come on. You're making
Yeah,
us look bad.
honestly, and now that we kind of address like high school and university, I guess you can still like it even like spreads to like society as a whole. Like how like what we use today is basically what affects the entire society. Because like one little thing, and like you have like a small percentage of people like at your grass, doing the same exact stuff. It's crazy because like you really think about it. Even though like high school and like university, because I believe it kind of like starts to grow at high school, but like I don't think that's the real starting point. The real starting point has to do with society and like how we're growing up in like this. I think I would say this is a postmodern age, and how development of technology is like increasing, and because of that, like little kids, I literally see little like 4-year-old, 6-year-old kids with like iPads and iPhones, and I'm like, I didn't even get my first phone till 2 years ago. And it's like, what world are we living in? And that's the thing, like the whole point I wanted to talk about this and start with high school students, because like we have to start at a point where like you see something increasing. But the main thing I wanted to get you guys to talk about was technology within society, because that's the big thing, and how businesses how to take an advantage for that. So honestly, I just want to get your opinion. How do you feel on the amount of technology in today's society? You think it's too much? You think it's too little? You think like, well, I feel we're not doing enough?
I feel like it's definitely too much. Like, just because one thing I was to mention, like little kids. Like I have nephews, and most of them is typical. Like if their mom is busy with something or like cooking, they're watching YouTube, right? And like the kids shows, and so like I feel like that now it's getting scarier, right? Like my nephew knows his way around my phone to find YouTube. Obviously, you just look for the red thing, but I didn't like trust me, like you, like I was what for? I was 14, but it wasn't like I had the internet on my phone either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like literally call, text, that's it, right? So, man, like it definitely have too much technology in our life, and because it just turns into everything being quantified,
Yeah.
right? So, I don't know, yeah.
Like
It's
for
so bad.
me, like I see technology nowadays. It's kind of like for me, like I don't see it as like it's too much. I see it's kind of in this weird spot where like with the kids, yeah, it's too much. Let's be honest. But as you get older, the technology impact's kind of weird because if you're responsible, if you know what you're doing, it's not that impactful on you. But the other way around, you can see all these stories of like people being kind of stupid in university using their phones and stuff. So my point is, it's just right now technology's in a weird spot where like it makes our lives better if we know how to use it responsibly, if we know how to control ourselves, and if that has to involve the people like teachers having to step in to enforce it, that might be like one of the best ways. But it's also tricky. Like technology, like let's be honest, it's never gonna go away. Technology is always gonna get better and better. Like at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we're all replaced by robots. I wouldn't even be surprised.
Yo, to be honest, we're already addicted if you think about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're even recording with this damn technology.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, you didn't have to mention that. No, I'm playing.
I'm just pointing out the
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, you going to say something?
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
for me, I agree with Tian. Like, I just think there needs to be a balance. Like, if we're gonna like move on to like the future, we just need to learn how to like balance between using it too much or using it too little. Because there's definitely like, as we've stated, pros and cons. We just have to like make sure that we know how to use it properly. And I also relate like with the kids using it way too much, because I have a little brother, and if you compare like his childhood to mine, when I was his age, I didn't have a cell phone until like later on, and even when I had a cell phone, there was no YouTube, like
Yeah.
Christian said, or like there wasn't really that much of like media in it, and so I didn't really get exposed to that much. But my brother now, like he knows the phone in and out, and like especially for kids, it's also really dangerous because if you think about it, they have easy access to just touch on videos, and when you're on YouTube in general, when you touch a video, you can just like go on to another video, and then it can just be a whole sequence, and like sometimes it can lead to like other videos that are maybe not appropriate for these kids to be watching. Like with internet, there's just so much information that like maybe they shouldn't be watching at their age. So like there's a lot of information and stuff that's exposed to these little kids if they don't know how to like use the technology properly.
Yeah, so I totally agree with all three of you guys. It's just the way technology is used today is absolutely crazy, you know? Like, you could be as young as as a little baby. You could get very tied into technology just like that. Like, I know we all know for experience, like, you know, we haven't really had at a young childhood age, you know, we didn't really get that much with technology, but now with this new generation coming in, technology is growing. Like Tien said, it's not going to stop growing. It's going to continue to grow. And like honestly, at this point, we got to learn how to live with it, but also like see how we can balance it as well. So what do you think are like some suggestions to like, you know, at least demonstrate that like we're kind of consuming too much? So maybe if we cut back, there could be a much, you know, effective result. So what do you think are some suggestions to like at least like maybe if it is like for a day or like for a week, like decrease the amount of technology we use in society?
Yeah. Like have I don't know if, but like I feel like we all know our favorite apps by now. Like if you use your phone a lot, so I feel like you could also like schedule how like when you're gonna use that. For me, speaking personally, like I have my time where I'm going to be like I'm definitely checking Instagram around this time, my downtime. Twitter, I don't have much of a touch on it because like, I'm really addicted. But every other app, like I know, like I have specific times where. But yes, it's all about like manage yourself and try to look into. I know it's more use of technology, but I could read up on it and the effects of it, right? And if you try like cutting it off for like a week, you see you'll see a huge difference. The first day will be hard, but like it will be.
Oh yes, the first day will be difficult.
Honestly, and it makes you peaceful. Have you logged on social media and never seen an argument?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. So like, that's why I suggest like try to find like minimize it and meditate. Meditation helps.
Meditate.
Namaste.
Yeah.
In terms of what I can add to that, like obviously it's gonna be. God damn, I need water. Okay, yeah, can you give me a second? I need water.
Okay, guys, we're waiting for Tia.
Myself, I just want to say, like, for me, in terms of my experiences with technology, like, what I found to like help me like not get totally addicted is like I usually just give my phone to my mom, right? Saying like, see, I'm actually serious, like, because she gets pissed off because she knows that I use my phone a lot. She's like, son, look, I want you to do well in school. And you live under my roof, so you know what? Here's my proposal. Son, give me your phone while you're studying. I'm like, really? So after I argued with her for a damn week, I was like, oh, try it out, right? So I gave the phone away to my mom, sadly. Yeah. So for the whole day, I was like, not really distracted by anything. It's so nice. Yeah. But then I realized I was behind on my like Instagram, my social media, and this club. But at the end of the day, I would always ask to come back. And I found like I was able to be productive. I was able to like get my work done. And I found that like, it kind of does help. Like, it helps when you, like, not have that phone with you. It's just, like, phone's gone. And, like, even to this day, I still have to do that. I'm so ashamed. Yeah. I still have to give my phone. Like, I can't even keep the phone to myself. I have to give it to my mom and I know my mom hates the phone. Yeah. So I know she'll never give it back unless I get beg. So in a way, like, that's kind of one example of, like,
whatever it helps, honestly. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Just to add on, for me, I think that just, you know, trying to teach each other how to balance the usage on technology, on electronics, phones, whatever it is, and like maybe possibly like in schools just having maybe like a program or like a class where people come in and just maybe teach, you know, how to balance technology life versus, you know, real life. That way, yeah, we can be able to experience, you know, the beauty in real life and be able to enjoy this world that we actually live on versus just like living on it through the screen. So yeah.
Honestly, my thing I do, I straight up delete the apps that are just unimportant. Like straight up, I mean, this is me. I have a couple of apps on my phone and like I'll admit I consume too much of it. I have this NBA Live game and I'm so addicted. Like I remember a time I think I went 4 straight hours playing it.
Yo.
So like I would say like if it really distracts you, just delete the apps. Mm-hmm. Delete the apps. I mean, they're not gone forever. You could re-download them. Honestly, another thing I do is probably like, you know, if they could have like maybe like a day where like, you know, everyone just turns off their electronic devices as well for like 24 hours. I mean, obviously not everyone. Like you still need the news and everything. Yeah. But like, you know, like just like take off your phone, you know, just for 24 hours and see if there's a difference there. I feel like, you know, there's a lot of like small steps you have to take. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't do some big steps where it's like, all right, we're just going to take everything and just throw it away. Yeah. Like, no, that's not going to work. You got to take small steps. And again, this is not us saying that technology has to be, like, you know, thrown away. It's not like, okay, good riddance, goodbye. No, it's like Tian said, it's gonna keep growing and it ain't gonna stop. We're just saying that we have to know how to balance ourselves. Because there's even times, like you literally just said it, once you got your phone back, you're like, I'm behind on my storage and stuff. But you have to really think about it. Is it that necessary? I mean,
things happen in this club, man.
I mean,
are you telling me that like, if I didn't pay attention, I wouldn't know what happened?
Hold on. Let me talk, okay? First of all, you have to get them all like that. Second, what I'm trying to say is like, yes, important stuff. But if we're talking like stuff like you're checking, I don't know, like a celebrity story and like you're rushing like, oh my god, what's this person gonna tweet? It's like, come on, you gotta learn how to like balance yourself and learn how to like, you know, maximize all your time to, you know, your fullest potential. So I feel like, you know, it's a small step, but like I said before, I feel like, you know, we're willing to try something. I think we all have something inside. I think in the deep part of our hearts, we want to, like, get off the phone
Mhm.
and do something fun and do something different and not be on the phone. But that's the thing, like, you feel like it's this whole society thing. That's like a sociological imagination, like, well, if I get off the phone and I'm trying to, like, say, okay, let's not do that much, phone activity or, like, laptop activity, anything with technological advances or stuff, it's just like society's just like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you come on, you can't do that. You got to be on your
Yeah.
phone. You're meant to be on your phone.
Actually, I wanted to ask something. Like, sorry. Do you feel like technology makes you more numb to society, like to real life?
No?
Numb in the sense of like, okay, this might be a little insensitive, but whenever there's like a disaster or whatever, like it's not as much care as you want. Like, do
Yeah.
you feel that way?
Like, that's more on the political system, though, like,
Yeah.
because let's be honest, disaster happens, ooh, I'm just gonna say that we as a country care about the people, and we're going to help you.
Okay.
And then it happens over and over again, that,
Yeah.
like, so it's not really necessarily, like, technology part, it's more on, like, how politics really uses that.
Alright.
Uses the outreach, uses the Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Mr. Trump. I know how you use your Twitter.
No, okay, fine. Maybe disaster was like a wrong example.
Yeah?
And you're right, politics messed up, but that's a different topic for a different
Which
day,
we
I
could
guess.
totally do it if we feel like it.
Right.
It's gonna be what? Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, I'm
But I'm talking about like in the sense of like I don't know, like you see a roast and then like you get numb to it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of funny, but like if it happened in real life, you'd be like damn, that would be kind of sad.
That's harsh.
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's true.
I don't know.
But
that's
you
how-
cannot deny some roasts. You just have to
It-
roast the guy.
it's
They
funny.
deserve-
No,
some-
don't get me
I know,
wrong.
I know.
It's funny. It's very
Some
funny. That's what I'm
people
trying
in
to
this
say.
world
though.
deserve to be roasted. Okay, like Trump deserves to be roasted for once.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, and he roasted himself, I guess.
Oh no, Trump, old Trump, like slander.
Guys, like,
Oh my
can't
God.
keep your Trump feelings inside.
Sorry.
Come on, man.
Well, let's talk about
Listen,
Democrats.
I'd
fine.
like to wrap it up.
Oh my God.
Please,
Yeah.
okay?
Oh,
But
my-
like, he was asking me,
Yeah.
so I was assuming he was putting me in the hot
Oh,
seat.
my
He
bad.
took away my special segment.
Yeah, he took away your hot seat, man.
My bad.
Disrespectful. Anyway,
Yo,
Yeah.
I didn't know. My bad.
I
I'm
just
sorry.
said if it's like, could you repeat the question? No, 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 no.
Alright, I'll rephrase it. Don't worry. Do you feel like technology makes you numb to some of the stuff that you in real life you'd be more cautious on, or
Yeah, absolutely.
more sensitive? I guess.
Yeah, sometimes we don't tend to think for ourselves. We tend to think, what is society thinking?
Like mob mentality.
Yeah. It's like if we see something sad, like some of your friends are like, yeah, it's not that important. Like, yeah, it's not that important. And then let's say it comes up again, it's just like, actually, this is really serious. And it's like, well, I said it was not important to my friend, so where was me then? So like it is the mob mentality. And honestly, this is the advice I'm throwing out to everyone, like, be your own person, okay? Like, there's not all the time you gotta like take every word and inch what society throws to you. I'm talking like your friends, like people you don't know. And I'm even saying the family. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, but it's true. But be your own person. I mean, don't be to the point where like you're not listening to anyone else. You're just like you're ignorant. Okay, like it's good to listen to other people, but don't be hooked to every single word they said.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a very important lesson that we could take for ourselves. But that being said, I think we kind of covered up everything from high school, university to really society, which is probably the main reason why it's like implicated into those two aspects, high school and university. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any like closing remarks you want to say. Nah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all I would say is balance is key. Moderation
is
is
key.
key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's that negative balance.
We'll quote that right there. Balance is key. I like
Yeah.
that. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thank-